And welcome back to my blog, Essays on the Constitution of the United States, Part 7. These are two short ones, so we're going to have Cassius 5 and Cassius 6. Let's see if he gets into more than just ad hominem in his arguments for this new Constitution. Cassius 5, the Massachusetts Gazette, number 386, Tuesday, November 27th, 1787, for the Massachusetts Gazette. Quote, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God, and escheweth evil, etc., etc." End quote. Citizens of Massachusetts, like the sons of God, have the members of the late Federal Convention assembled together. Like them, too, have they been infested with the presence of Satan, or such as were influenced by satanic principles, and who wish to thwart every design that has a tendency to promote the general good of the United States. Let us take a short view of the characters who composed the late Federal Convention. Are they not men who, from their infancy, have been nurtured in the principles of liberty and taught to pay a sacred regard to the rights of human nature? Are they not men who, when the poisonous breath of tyranny would have blasted the flower of independence in its bud, and veiled every ray of freedom in the clouds of lawless despotism, nobly stepped forth in their defense of their injured country's rights, and through the influence of those of whose exertions, favored by the protection of an overruling power, the thick fog of despotism vanished like the early dew before the powerful rays of the resplendent luminary of the universe? Are they not honest, upright, and just men who fear God and eschew evil? With few exceptions, they are mostly men of this character, and, citizens of Massachusetts, they have formed a government adequate to the maintaining and supporting the rank and dignity of America in the scale of nations. A government which, if adopted, will protect your trade and commerce, and cause business of every kind rapidly to increase and flourish. It is a government which wants only a candid perusal and due attention paid to it, to recommend it to every well-wisher to his country. Brethren and citizens, hearken to the voice of men who have dictated only for your and posterity's good, men who ever, quote, have made the public good their only aim, and on that basis mean to build their fame, end quote. Listen not to the insinuations of those who will glory only in your destruction, but wisely persevere in the paths of rectitude. Cassius. Cassius 6, the Massachusetts Gazette, number 387, Friday, November 30th, 1787. For the Massachusetts Gazette. Mr. Allen, through the channel of your paper, I beg leave to offer one or two short remarks on a production which appeared in your last under the signature of Agrippa. Without saying anything concerning the justness of the learned Agrippa's observations on past events, I shall confine myself chiefly to a small part of his uncommonly ingenious essay. Agrippa says, quote, "The attempt has been made to deprive us, etc., by exalting characters on the one side and vilifying them on the other," end quote, and goes on, quote, "I wish to say nothing of the merits or demerits of individuals. Such arguments always do hurt," end quote. Immediately after this, he insinuates that the members of the late Federal Convention have, quote, "from their cradles been incapable of comprehending any other principles of government than those of absolute power, and who have, in this instance, meaning the form of government proposed by them, attempted to deprive the people of their constitutional liberty by a pitiful trick." End quote. Thus the ignorant loggerhead blunders directly into the very same thing which he himself, just before, takes upon him to censure. Perhaps Agrippa thinks that excusable in anti-federalists, which in a federalist he beholds as criminal, justly thinking, without doubt, that as absurdity, knavery, and falsehood is the general characteristic of anti-federalists, he might indulge himself in either of them without meriting censure. I apprehend that Agrippa has a new budget of political ideas centered in his pericranium, which he will, in his own due time, lay before the public, for he insinuates that the members of the late Federal Convention are incapable of comprehending any other principles of government than those of absolute power. Was it the dictates of absolute power that inspired the immortal Washington to lead forth a band of free men to oppose the inroads of despotism and establish the independence of his country? Was it the dictates of arbitrary power that induced the celebrated Franklin to cross the wide Atlantic to procure succors for his injured countrymen and citizens? Blush and tremble, Agrippa, thou ungrateful monster. Charon's boat now waits on the borders of the Styx to convey you to those mansions where guilt of conscience will prey upon your intellects, at least for a season. Quote, "Is there not some chosen curse, some hidden thunder in the stores of heaven, read with uncommon wrath to blast the wretch who dares pollute such names so sacred and so much beloved? Methinks I hear each freeman cry, most certainly there is." End of the quote. Cassius. That is the end of 5 and 6 of Cassius. Cassius 7 tomorrow. Make it a great day, and bye for now.